The cold morning rain had barely stopped when Marcus Green pushed open the glass doors of one of his own stores. No one knew he was the CEO. Dressed in worn jeans, a plain jacket, and sneakers, he looked like just another man down on his luck. He had built his company from scratch, but lately, rumors about employee mistreatment and declining morale had reached him. So he decided to go undercover, determined to see the truth for himself. As he stepped inside, the smell of cleaning chemicals mixed with the faint aroma of stale coffee. The store was quiet, too quiet for the hour. Employees shuffled around without smiles, avoiding eye contact with customers. But it wasn't the tense atmosphere that stopped Marcus in his tracks. It was the sound, a muffled sob echoing from the corner. There, crouched by a mop bucket, was James, the janitor. He was a middle-aged man, gray showing in his hair, his hands cracked and calloused from years of scrubbing floors. James tried to wipe his tears quickly when he noticed Marcus looking, but his red eyes betrayed him. Marcus knelt beside him. "Hey, brother, you okay?" At first, James shook his head. "I'm fine, just allergies," he muttered. But Marcus stayed there, patient, his voice gentle but steady. "Allergies don't make a man cry like that. What's really going on?" And then the truth spilled out. James's wife had cancer. He had been working double shifts to pay for her treatments, but his hours had been cut without warning. Worse, his manager had humiliated him earlier that morning, telling him he was replaceable and should be grateful he even had a job. James's voice cracked as he whispered, "I don't know how I'm going to keep the lights on, let alone save her." Marcus felt his chest tighten. The company was supposed to stand for opportunity and dignity, yet here was one of its hardest workers, broken, unseen, and discarded. He knew then that this wasn't just about James. If one employee was being treated like this, how many others were silently suffering? Over the next hours, Marcus watched closely. The manager barked orders, ignored customers, and belittled employees. Young workers looked terrified, too afraid to speak up. It was a culture of fear, not respect. And every insult, every careless word, made Marcus's blood boil. That night, Marcus couldn't sleep. He thought about his own mother, who had worked 2 jobs when he was a boy just to keep food on the table. He remembered the times she cried in secret, thinking he didn't notice. He remembered how he had promised himself that if he ever built something, it would be a place where no worker felt invisible. But now, looking at his own company, he realized he had drifted too far from that promise. The next morning, Marcus returned, not as the undercover stranger, but as the CEO. Dressed in a sharp suit, he walked straight into the same store. Employees froze. The manager's smirk vanished instantly. Everyone whispered as the truth sank in. The man who had been sweeping the aisles yesterday was their boss. Marcus gathered the staff. His voice carried both authority and pain. "Yesterday, I came here undercover. I wanted to see how my people were being treated when no one was watching. What I saw broke my heart." He turned toward James, who looked stunned and embarrassed. "I saw a man who has given years of his life to this company being humiliated. I saw employees working in fear instead of pride. And I saw leadership that failed every single one of you." The room was silent except for James's quiet sob. Marcus didn't waste another second. Right there, he removed the manager from his position. But he didn't stop there. He announced new policies, higher wages, healthcare support for families, and a direct line for workers to report mistreatment without fear of retaliation. Then, to James, he said the words that made the janitor's knees buckle, "Your wife's treatment will be covered, fully. You've carried this company on your back when no one noticed. From today, you'll never be invisible again." The employees erupted into applause, some even crying. James fell to his knees, gripping Marcus's hands, unable to speak through the flood of gratitude. In the weeks that followed, everything changed. Word spread across the company. Employees began smiling again, treating customers with warmth instead of fear. The culture shifted from one of intimidation to one of dignity and respect. And James, he kept his job, but more importantly, he regained hope. His wife began her treatments without the crushing weight of financial fear. For Marcus, the lesson was clear: success wasn't measured by profits or growth charts, it was measured by the lives touched and the humanity preserved. And so, he ended his speech to the company with a line that would be remembered for years.